Friends, you know, it should also be understood that this country and the whole world, we are operating at difficult times. Let us not lie to ourselves. The economy of the whole world is in a terrible state as we speak today. Let's have our seat, please. Kupet power. Kupet power. Niseme autonomy. Haya, autonomy power. Asanteni sana to the leadership of the teachers from the national government, the national level, to the branch level and other branches present here. Our hosts, led by the Executive Secretary, Tom Odhiambo, and the Chairman and other leaders. Good afternoon once again. First of all, I want to start by also in condoling with the whole country for losing the 16 students and others who were injured in the inferno that happened, the unfortunate one, in Utumishi Girls High School. That was very unfortunate, and before I say anything else, I just want to make a few comments. Number one, the leadership, the Ministry of Education across the country should move to all boarding schools and inspect boarding facilities for compliance with boarding. We don't want to lose any other life. The ones we have lost is just too many. And this should be the last one. It should be the last warning to us, because this is not the first one. And therefore, those who are charged with the responsibility of ensuring compliance must make sure that the facilities that are used for boarding befits the boarding facilities that can protect the lives of our children. I also want to join the teachers of Homabay County in condoling the death of the two teachers, and we are together with you at this time of sorrow. I was invited a few weeks ago to come and join you in this celebration. May I take this opportunity to congratulate, not that just the ones who won their seats, Tom, together with your team, but I want to congratulate all teachers of Homabay, because I know the challenges that confronted this election. In fact, they are even to be deferred to a later date. It was very controversial, but finally you got it right. And now you are in office, and there is calm and peace in the county of Homabay. Mine is to wish you well. The hard work has just begun. You are just 90 days into office. And I want to encourage you, Tom, that it is not so difficult to serve people, so long as you are serving the people you love. The bottom line is you must first love your teachers. If you don't love the people you serve, you cannot serve them well. In fact, you will be one term. If you don't love the people you serve, you will be one term. But if you love the people you serve, you will not just even be two terms, you will be long term. So my prayer is that you become long term together with your team, by loving your people, loving the people you serve, and serving them diligently. You must be their servant. You must not be their leader. You must be these people's servant. In fact, I tell people when I was representing the people of Suba South that I can be very tough out there. I can be very tough in parliament. I can be very tough on TV shows, but when I come back home, I am very humble to those people in the village, because those are my employers. They're the ones who gave me their votes, and they're the ones who can take me home. So these are the people who will either retain you in office or take you home. Please respect them, love them, serve them. I can see, even by just listening to your speech, there is hope. You are going to serve these people better. No wonder they really pushed that you become the executive secretary against all odds. And you know the journey you have traveled to be where you are today. Don't let down these teachers, my friend. Don't let them down. You know where we have come from. You know where we began. You know the tribulations you have gone through. Don't get, I say, now let me come back to the substantive issues that have been raised. I know we still have another program here ahead of us of doing some fundraising. But let me just respond to a few issues that have been raised. I'm beginning with the most, it's not the most difficult. Actually, to me, it should now be the most easy. I had my brothers from Migori saying I made promise. I can't remember I made any promise. Or Chunga, about a neck. It is today, actually I'm not giving a promise. This one I'm ensuring, nina kuhakikishia. And I'm standing here before the teachers of Kenya, not of Homabay, to tell them, the teachers, and I will lead by example. I am going to inform the president that the power that you gave me to control and manage resources on your behalf, I have made a decision with the teachers that we pay them 1.5 billion and is going to approve. So that money will be paid before the end of this financial year. Tumalizane na hiyo maneno, nisiende mahali tena kukutana na teachers, and now I will be lacking what we call here kui. Sasa ninakosa kui yawa kuetama ni what pesa 1.5 billion. Hata kama tuko na shida, surely 1.5 billion nyarotamwa. So that is done. That is done. Now on the issue of promotion, I will have to consult again and see the best we can, because this was a promise from the president. But I will tell you something about also finances. I want you also to understand as teachers. I think the mistake that we have been making as a country is failing to communicate with each other. Even if something is still difficult, we need to communicate so that we can understand each other. And by the way, hii maneno ya autonomy, you know, mimi sielewi autonomy. What is the problem? Why can't you people? You know, saa zingine mnanishangaza nyinyi professionals, especially teachers. We have PET, we have NAT, we have Ministry of Education, we have teachers. You are people who understand this very well. You understand the so-called curriculum. Me, I don't understand. Why can't you agree? Kila siku autonomy. Sasa mimi mtu wa pesa autonomy ninajua kutoka hapa. I have no ability to understand this autonomy. Hata nyinyi, you are giving us too much work, hard work. I know balance sheet. I know macroeconomics. I know micros. Lakini maneno ya autonomy mungemalizana naye kitambo. Sijui ni shida inatokea wapi. Kama italetwa cabinet, nitauliza Ogamba hiyo autonomy ni nini? Alafu nitakupigia. Before I vote, I will call you so that I don't vote wrongly. Because I don't understand autonomy. Autonomy inamaanisha nini? JSS wako autonomous. Watolewe kwa junior school. Ya, sasa ninaelewa. Now I've heard you. Now on the issue, let me tell you something, my friends. You know, it should also be understood that this country and the whole world. We are operating at difficult times. Let us not lie to ourselves. The economy of the whole world is in a terrible state as we speak today. This is aggravated by the war that we see in the Middle East. It is not isolated to Kenya. I will tell you, Kenya has multiple problems because we have found ourselves in a situation that we must look for solutions and ways of coming out of. Our economic condition, our economic situation as a country is not very good. If I may just tell you the budget that I've just prepared and submitted to the National Assembly, we are planning to collect 3.6 trillion shillings. Out of that 3.6 trillion, 1.5 trillion is going into debt repayment. Debts that have been taken over the years. And you remember at one point, IMF had predicted that Kenya was going to default. Among 6 countries in Africa, Kenya was listed as one of them. As we speak today, 5 of those countries, including Ethiopia, Ghana, Gambia, Mozambique, Chad, have already defaulted. It is only Kenya that is still standing strong. And look, we are projecting to collect 3.6 trillion and 1.5 is going into debt repayment. You have no discretion. That leaves you with only 2.1 trillion. And out of that 2.1 trillion, 1 trillion I'm spending in paying salaries to staff of national government, public servants. That leaves you with only 1.1. Out of that, 420 billion will come to counties. No discretion. So you're left with about 680 billion. That 680 billion is where capitation money is coming from. 54 billion for 3-day secondary school, which is not even enough. JSS is 31 billion. It's not even enough. Primary schools, 7 billion, not even enough. That is before you bring in money that goes to SHA for primary health care of 19 billion. Another 4 billion is emergency chronic and critical illnesses. Another 19 billion we spend on fertilizer subsidy. 25 billion goes to cash transfers to the elderly and vulnerable people. I have not even factored in yet the money that we spend on security and many others. So times are difficult, but we must also do the priority areas. That is why this government is committed. We are very committed to confirming those teachers who are teaching as interns, because we know that these are people who are well trained, well qualified to teach our children. Their peers who have been employed permanently, who are offering the same service as them, are paid better, not very well, but paid better than them. So we know it. And that is why we have provided a budget. I know it is not enough, but we have provided a budget to confirm 20,000 teachers. I know there are 24,000 more. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, we must involve ourselves in conversation so that it is not seen that this government is doing nothing. Look, this government has employed over 100,000 teachers, a record in history, because we value education. We are trying as much as possible to increase money for capitation. And I came out boldly to say that the budget we are providing is not enough. If you multiply the number of children we have with per capita, the amount in the budget is less. You people, instead of defending me and supporting me, you kept quiet when people are roasting me that I'm reducing budget. I did not reduce any budget. I only said that the money in the budget is not enough. That is why teachers are making noise that the money is not reaching schools. Being honest, I never knew in this country is a crime. And you are the ones who are supposed to come out and say that Mbadi has said the truth. Let us look for a way of making sure that the money that is provided is enough. Let us get into a conversation. Where do we get extra money? And we cannot tax you more, because Kenyans are already complaining of taxes. You have heard us say that now
anyone who is earning below 30,000 should not pay tax. And it is not anyone who is not, it's not just those who are earning below 30,000. Any earning from 0 to 30,000 attracts zero tax. So even if you are earning 100,000 or 1 million, your first 30,000 will not attract tax. Another 50,000, we are lowering the tax rate from 30% to 25%. Because we recognize and appreciate that already Kenyans need some relief. When we talk of giving this government a chance, it is not just mere talk. It is because of the programs and policies and the programs which the government has put in place require time to mature. You cannot, even ukizaa mtoto akili namna gani, a child cannot become an adult in 3 days or 3 years. That child must grow. And this government has started. How have we started? I've just mentioned the efforts we are putting in the Ministry of Education. We have added budget for Tibet now to 8.2 billion, up from 4 billion in the previous year, to support technical training. We have added money even in the higher education loans board to support our education. And even capitation to schools, other company modest, we have added budget on those lines. But now, besides that, other things must also take place. We must have our roads fixed. When this administration came into office, ladies and gentlemen, all the roads are stalled, and this is not history. This is something you saw the other day. We came up with a strategy to make sure that we can start and restart the road construction across the country, including this county. This county, there are some areas, especially in Dewa constituency. If you go to Dewa constituency, there are no roads. If you went to Suba South, there were no roads. At least now things are happening there. If you went to Karachuonyo, the western side of Karachuonyo, there are no roads. And that is what this government has unlocked. If you go to Ndewa, now there are a number of roads that have been started. Suba South, a number of roads are going on. You used to make jokes in Kijaluo. Ni Raj, Kanara Madi Kuturu Mbadi. Is that not the case? That's what you have been saying. At least now, hiyo maneno haitasemwa tena. Hamtazungumzia. This government is putting efforts to make sure that our economy grows. And were it not been for this war in the Middle East, we had started on the right trajectory. All the macroeconomic fundamentals were working. Our inflation had come down. The cost of living was coming down, including interest chargeable by banks were coming down. But now, with the war in the Middle East, and we hope and pray that it's going to end quickly, that has been destabilized. But I'm sure God is watching over us and will make sure that we get out of this place. What I am beseeching Kenyans is not to listen to propagandists. Listen to them yesterday when I released my finance bill. They have come up with so much propaganda on the finance bill just to incite Kenyans on tribal lines and to cause chaos and mayhem and destabilize this economy and destabilize the country. When a leader who wants to be the president stands before Kenyans and says that in the finance bill we are doing away with freehold land and introducing leasehold land that people will now pay even for the ancestral land. And I ask, where is it in the finance bill? There is no answer. It is propaganda, nifitina, incitement, and causing chaos and mayhem in the country. That is what I call irresponsible leadership. And for you teachers, we need to call out some of these people for who they are. These are anarchists, people who want to stabilize our country as if there is a spare country. Kenya is only one. We doing it, we have no any other country. It is very difficult to stay in asylum. My brothers and sisters, it is very bad to be a refugee. Let us stay in our country, discuss, dialogue, agree, disagree, agree to disagree. That is what I would beseech you. I want to conclude my speech. Lakini nikiongea hii yote si lazima niseme Kijaluo kidogo. You know, let me tell you,
if you look at the way this country is moving, I want to beseech you that 2027, we retain the leadership that is there today. We retain the leadership that is there today. If there are challenges, we try to correct those challenges, but retain the leadership that is there today. We give William Ruto a second chance, and 2032, I am ready to take over from William Ruto State House. I'm coming as the next president of the Republic of Kenya. It is not just a say, I am committed to it. And that is why I have said I am not going to run for any seat in 2027. I am no longer going to run for MP, Super South. And teachers, I thank you for supporting me to be the second governor of Homabay. But I want to assure you today that in 2027 and even after 2027, I am not going to run for governor of Homabay because I've set my eyes on a bigger prize. I want to rule this country as the 6th president of the Republic of Kenya. Joturwa, gimadwana wachi nukatieko, nigelangeo nini tie programs kada processes moko monigo watieko. Jotendunika nitiera rambe monigo wago. Ma watieko go the center okamano. Then bang manu bangeo ni nyaka manyu transport moro mudokgo. Including nyaka jowa madok mfangano. Koro wadwani mondo watiek piyo kapiny pod chon mondo mi weche gi orum. Adwana wachnu watieko go ka. Hello? Awinjo ka jomoko wacho ni Mbadi temo insight oganda wani. Ni wana insight gi against oganda moro. Adwana wachnu ni kiwinjo discussion madhi mbele Kenya kasani. Oganda koganda ikore ne gima biro. Oganda koganda prepare ne king'iyo yawa majora buon. Iwinjo ka giwuoyo kendo gichayo president masani. Giwacho ni president masani ni ondhogo gi. Gibende giwacho future gi. Kiwinjo jotoko dera wacho future gi ni gidwaro namba 2 mondo kiny gibe girit Kenya. Kiwinjo kada ma jogot mabatho wakagi bende wacho wachgi. Wambe kako oganda nyaka wachwa. Wacho mwawacho eni nyaka wawuori riwruokwa mar oganda nikech riwruokwa no. Riwruokwa ne momiyo joluoro wa Kenya ka. Ok ni wathoth ahinya. Nitie oganda mang'eny mohewowa. Lakini gimomiyo ka sirikal moro amora kuome mokero to ringo manyo jaluo en riwruok jaluo. Omiyo ng'ama duokwa chien en ng'ama mayowa riwruokwa. Riwruogno emomiyo achung' mbele kaka wuono ka wuoyo kodu kaka jomodhi skul jomariek ma jopuonj ni wuoyo uru goganda wa ni riwruok jaluo en teko jaluo. Onge kaka dang' ing'e kamidhiye giloso strategy midhigo kono nikech wambe 2032 onge ng'ama nowacho ni mon mag Nyanza ka mon ma joluo mon onagi ni wan waonge teko mar nyuolo president mar Kenya. En nyaka wan bende waikre, to sama waikore nyaka wamako osiep, to sama wamako osiep nyaka wapenj ni osiep ma wamako nyoro bende omiyo wawala. Ka ok omiyo wawala mano osiep waweyo wamanyo osiepe mamoko wadhi loso go sirikal mabiro. Mane gima Mbadi wacho onge ni incitement. Awacho mana gima dieri ma ung'eyo nikech kisomo siganda mar Kenya kane Kenya oyudo uhuru ne wamako osiep gi jogo ma wagolo gi e jela ma wamiyo gi telo. Ne giriembowa koso giriembowa. Kane ochako tamogi ma Moi wuono dongo baro gi ndasi ne girigo kuomwa ma gikwayo Jaramogi mondo okonygi. Jaramogi nokonyogi mokelo Ford mayienga. Ford nobiro ma thuon gweno ne dhi dala. Ka gineno ni kendo Jaramogi kawo telo ne gidhi giomo wuongi ma pok ochango loka ma gikelo mokethonwa Ford moloso Ford asili gi Ford Kenya ma wachako waweyo telo mane waseketo machiegni. Mano osiep mijakibedogo. Ka Jaramogi othono gi Raila wacho Kibaki tosha. En propaganda koso en adieri. Donge ne gimor gi Raila sechego. To kane Raila omiyogi president ne Raila nichako neno. Kane gik mane gipromise ne gimiye to mano osiep mijakibedo. To nyoro ma jokoro uro moso wakagi lwete e handshake. Nyoro wabedo kode 5 years kwa miyo sirikal ne tiyo ka Ruto bare ndasi. To nyo konyo wagago. Donge wuono
wanomiyo watelo nyo wayudo koro mano en assignment Mbadi kuonyo luogi jomoko awacho ni jaluogi gibed ng'ama ofuwo miwuondo ka jowuondi nyoro kendo ka wuondi kendo rucha mano koro da gibed ng'ama ofuwo mokonyre mane mawacho ne ogandawa ni fuwo ainano Mbadi ok nyal bede abiro gonu koko makata ka wacho ga jogo tabiro wache maduonda ruwe orucha duogo orucha machielo duogo kinadi Kisumo en awach ne jothurwa ng'ama nowinja ng'ama notamre bende bedi to jana wacho ganda wa nyaka ng'e ni wan bende wan ji kendo wan bende nyaka dewa otherwise sasa hiyo Mary umesikia nini nimesema tu Wakenya wapendane, hatutaki vita na ugomvi hii Kenya, tunataka tukue pamoja. Mungu alijua ni kwa nini na ni sababu gani aliweka Wakikuyu hapa Kenya, Wakalenjin Kenya, Wakamba Kenya, Wajaluo Kenya, Waluya Kenya, Pokomo, Giriama, Dorobo, Ogie, kila mtu Somali, sisi sote tuko hapa Kenya. Wakisi wako Kenya by right, Wakuria wako Kenya by right. No one applied to be here. We are here by the pleasure of God. Thank you very much. Sasa wacha tufanye hii harambee haraka haraka. Alafu museme wimbo ingine. So leta hiyo haraka haraka. Tuchape harambee.